You are tuned into the Love Movement Podcast on IntellectualRadio.com.
Hey, everybody. Listen. We got a great show today. Got one of my childhood friends, Pastor Angela Johnson. And she's going to explain to us and talk to us about her book. And she's going to tell us her story, her journey. But I want to make sure y'all understand. I went on a cruise this past week, and it was everything that I expected and some of the stuff I didn't expect. It was real nice. And I brought my two lovely co-hosts, the hottest goddess, Zanitra, and the money minded Tori Capri. I brought them a gift back. Y'all show y'all gift. What you hiding?
Well, I got mine on.
Oh, you got yours. You got one of them on.
One of them. Oh,
yeah. That's what they got. So we that's just to show my appreciation for them. But I want to thank all our fans and listen. Happy Mother's Day.
Yes.
Happy Mother's Day to all you guys that are mothers, and I hope you have a sweet, great day. I miss my mommy, but at the end of the day, that's what makes you stronger. And then we also want to thank our sponsors. We got the Kelly Tax Service. Please give her a call. It's past the deadline, but she can teach you how to reach the IRS with the deadline information and how to file for an extension and all of that good stuff. So give her a call, 708-408-8760, 708-408-8760, and call the transportation specialist, Johnny Vaughn. He'll take you to the store and he'll take you to the church. Then he'll take you to the casino. So we want to make sure he gets that.
God.
Yes. 708-834-4025. 708-834-4025. And we appreciate them for sponsoring us. And then we also got the Blue Note. As you know, they always jumping and bumping, and you could set up a date that you might want to have an event, and they will accommodate you. Then we have the Violet Shy that has been changed to the Village Dispensary. So they're doing a swap out, and it was very, very nice event they had. Well, my son was blessed enough to come in, and they did the ceremony. He made an appearance. It was good. And then we got the View. The View is always there. They're always doing something, live music. They're doing movie nights. They're doing brunch Saturday and Sunday. So stop by there, check them out, see if they could accommodate your needs. And then we have Stacy's Cafe. Y'all already know Stacy's Cafe, one of my favorite spots. And Stacy does a good job. Avenue. Remember that name. It's coming soon. Avenue. Then we got Rock of Ages. They have the barbershop talk the second and the fourth Thursday of every month. Second and fourth Thursday at the T.H. Wade Institute on 14th and Madison. So we want to thank all our sponsors. Thank everybody. Thank all our followers. And we have a very, very, very special guest. But last week, y'all was doing y'all thing while I was gone, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. You say, yeah.
You had to put some work in.
You had to put some work in. Well, Mr. Earl, he's a champion.
Eros.
Eros. Okay, Eros.
Eros.
And how did you feel when Mr. Eros was here?
Oh, Mr. Eros was awesome. He's a really, really dope poet. As you heard, he's an awesome speaker. Just everything he says is just always profound. No matter what he's talking about, and that's what I like about him. He's a genuine person. Behind the camera, outside the camera, all of that. Like he really is a good person. So I appreciate him coming out and taking the time out for the Love Movement Podcast, because he could have been anywhere else.
Yeah, across the world.
He chose to be here with us. So
yeah. I just wanted to know if he knew J. Ivy, because J. Ivy's big.
Well, we know because you asked twice.
Yeah, I suppose I asked twice because he didn't answer the first time.
He did. You was watching TV that day.
I was watching y'all while I was talking to him.
I was like, why Chris gonna call here? He watching an episode of The Shy or something.
I was watching
you was watching us.
I was watching you all.
Okay, that
See, there you go.
Delayed
there you
response.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
But
now
you
figured
know
it
how
out.
You know radio.
I don't know nothing. So But yeah, I was cruising, man. Cruising is sexy. It was real cool. I had a good time. My first one.
Sexy.
Yeah.
Now I'm
he
finna
just
go
said it
look
twice
at other
today.
boats.
You get it right.
I got to get on. I was on the Carnival. I want to get on the Norwegian,
Mm-hmm.
the Virgin,
Mm-hmm.
the Royal Caribbean,
Mm-hmm.
and
Norwegian
the
is not
Alaska.
good, just so you know.
Well, okay,
They get a thumbs down.
they get a okay from Angela. They get a thumbs down.
Yep.
Okay, we'll figure it
But
out.
which one get the thumbs down? The
Norwegian.
Norwegian.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
So we
yeah,
know.
the
It's a little
Norwegian.
rough ride with Norwegian.
That's tough. But anyway, I had a ball. Me and my family, we was out there and we was just floating and going to concerts and comedy shows, and they had what they call that when you pick the suitcase, deal or no deal.
Oh,
They was
that
doing
sound
all of
fun.
that. They had
That sounds good.
karaoke.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, and then they had an 80s party. Then they was stepping, and oh man, it was
So
just.
did you get the itinerary prior to going? So did you
Yeah,
bring your
you
80
knew
stuff?
exactly. You knew exactly what to
Okay.
do. The only thing that was a hike that didn't help was the captain's day.
Mhm.
So I put on a nice little suit, and
Well, they always say that it's a night where you got to really dress
Right,
up.
dress
yeah,
up.
but he didn't even show up.
Oh.
A lot of people was dressed up as the
He
captain.
didn't show-
What the hell the
I
captain
hope he
doing?
was guiding
So-
the ship.
Yeah, man.
Exactly.
I thought he had an assistant to help him guide the ship while he be
How many was it of
greeting the
y'all?
people. It was 18 of us.
Okay, that's always fun.
That's
Yeah,
a
it was
nice
18
group.
of us. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, man, they danced. They did the sail off. They was dancing. Then the staff was dancing at first.
Yeah,
Then they brought all the other people on. Put your boots on the ground.
that's a large group.
Fan. Put your boots down. All of that. It was just I had a lot.
Not
of
put
fun.
your boots down.
Put your boots on the ground. Where your
Oh,
fans
boots
at?
on
Where
the
your
ground.
fans at?
Mm.
Come on, put your boots down.
Help them, God.
Whatever.
It's gonna be okay.
So it's gonna be all right. But look, we got the playoffs, and Boston is 0-2. They nixed and climbed up and choked them real good at their house. So I don't know if y'all are
At the house.
too much familiar with the basketball. You like basketball?
I do.
Okay, did you been watching it?
I haven't.
She busy writing books.
That's
man.
right. And I don't blame
Tell
you.
'em.
So, but we had a hot topic. Tell us about the young man father that.
So it's so many versions of this story floating around. But the initial story said that the young man was in a stolen vehicle, and he got out. He was being chased by the police in the car initially, and got out and started running on foot. And so, what I understand, the initial story said he was running away from the police and was unarmed, and
Wow.
the police shot
I
him.
heard about this.
Mhm.
And in retaliation, his father, shot another police officer that wasn't connected to.
Oh wow!
So if you see a lot of a lot of the stories on Facebook and just in social media in general are praising him under the guise of
Mhm.
eye for an eye, where in the past when these types of things happen or have happened, we protest, we do a number of things, but this father took matters into his own hands.
Well,
and-
I think that's unfair to praise him because you took an innocent person that had nothing to do
Yeah.
with the
get that.
incident at all. I wouldn't even. I'm not condoning or whatever the case might be. But what I'm saying is, why would you take a life
That
of a
had
person that had
nothing-
nothing to do with it? That don't
True.
make sense.
Yeah.
So the ones that are praising him, I think they're in the wrong direction. They go in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even shot the people that were involved. I would have to let the law take care of that. I mean, because now your son is dead and you in jail.
Mm.
Yeah.
You get 2 for 1
At the end of the day.
at the end of the
Yeah.
day.
And I think the what kind of captivated people is that he was very convicted in what his position was. When he walked through the courtroom, after they took him in custody, he had to walk past a line full of police officers, and he held his head high, and he basically, owned what he did.
Yeah.
And right or wrong, he pretty much, was sending a message with his posture. And, again, I have an opinion. I'll just reserve it for
Yeah,
later.
I mean, it is, and that's what it's all about. Everybody has their an opinion about different situations, and it's and it's nothing wrong with it. It's just the right
Context.
audience.
Yeah.
You have the right. You got to have the right
Yeah.
audience to understand it. So, but we don't judge anybody. Hey, do what
No.
you got to do, and whatever the
We
case
don't
might
judge in here.
We don't
know.
judge.
Yeah.
We listen. We don't judge.
We don't judge.
Okay.
But it is unfortunate that the
Yeah.
officer that was innocent did lose his life. And if, and with the young man being unarmed, at least how the story is being
That's what
told,
I heard too.
and running away,
Yeah.
you
The
can
threat
commit
is
a
gone.
crime.
When you run away,
Yeah.
the threat is gone from the
Yeah.
police officer.
And it's just amazing to me how people
Mm.
are, very convicted in the fact that, okay, he had a criminal past, but he was running away. So somebody that has a criminal past doesn't mean that their life is not, he's not worthy of
Come
living
on,
simply
worthy of
because he
living.
had a criminal past.
Right.
So it's just amazing to me how people with their own beliefs and judgments are just taking a stance. And I'm like, wow.
Yet
Wow.
us moms, we do have a stance
Yeah.
because at the end of the day, no, it was wrong for the cop that got shot who had nothing to do with it. But on the flip side of all of that, when that's your baby,
Mhm.
It's a different story.
you understand
So
me? So I
different story.
I don't get it because I wouldn't shoot a fly. However, we're all now concealed to carry. So
Mhm.
maybe I have to, but it hurt me to hear that story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
really
yeah. I
did.
mean, a couple times, both of my sons, two of the four of my sons got in little scuffles, and the bad part about it is I hate I wasn't there
Right.
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
protect them
Mhm.
and to help them or whatever the case might be. But it happens,
Mhm.
and it's a sad thing.
Yeah.
But anyway, to turn this thing back over, it's prom season, so we want y'all to be careful out there, and it's
Yeah,
very important
Please.
to be careful. No drinking and driving. Pull over and take sips. I mean,
Yeah.
go to a standard location where you're stationary, but hopefully just try not to get in that car drinking and driving.
Mhm.
And then I was offered an opportunity on Saturday. Olivia Cameron,
Mhm.
David Scott wanted me to attend because he watched the show and she was on the show, and he donated $1,000 to her.
Good.
Then gave her
Mm.
$200 for that night,
Oh, good.
and
That
then
was
he
so
brought out
nice.
his Bentley truck,
Mhm.
and he brought out his Rolls Royce.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, big boy.
Yeah.
I'm a big boy for about 20 minutes, man.
Wait, were you the driver?
No, I
Uh-huh.
was just the presenter.
Okay.
He saw her on the show
Mhm.
and he thought it
Yes.
was good. He said, hey, man, he called me up. He said, I need you. He called me while I was on the cruise. He said, I need you for Saturday. I said, okay, man, I'll be there. So,
And she was absolutely worthy of
yeah,
it
she
too.
was, yeah, and
She's an
without a
awesome
doubt.
kid.
So, but to lead into what we're going to talk about today, I had a what they call, I had the,
You know that's
uh,
messed up.
what's the name of it? Let's clear some stuff up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ish.
And I was talking
Sesame
about
show.
the superstitions that people had, or that was, they were taught when they were growing up, and it really wasn't there. And one of the things that I had was that Friday the 13th,
Oh yeah.
where
Yes.
everybody, Friday the 13th was a bad
Do
luck
you
day,
hear
no
me?
matter what happened,
Yes.
whatever. So you better not step on the crack. You better not break a window. You better not. So we had a lot of things. What was the superstition that you?
Child, about that doggone if they sweep your foot.
You had
You
to spit
understand?
on the broom.
How about
Yeah.
splitting the pole?
Yes,
you
splitting the
I mean,
pole.
if
Split
people
the
to
pole,
this day,
step on the crack, break your
you
mama's
understand what I'm
back.
saying? Oh my God. What about no? This was the one though. I still can't do this one. Point at the graveyard.
Oh
What does
Lord.
that
I don't
mean?
believe in Bloody Mary. Y'all remember that one?
Bloody
Oh,
Mary, I
Lord.
remember. I ain't know about
Bloody Mary
pointing
was
to
real.
no
To this day, Bloody Mary is real.
Oh yeah. Better not go in that bathroom
Okay.
with me.
Okay.
Talk about Bloody Mary. What?
No one will do that. You
It's
hear me?
funny that was your topic for the day, because when she came in, what she do? She put her purse on the floor. And
And
the
that's
first
what they-
thing I said was, don't you put your purse
Purse
on
on
that
the
That's
floor.
right.
Right.
I did
And
not
that's-
know. I didn't even
And
know that
that's a
was your...
superstition, and it's so funny because now, Angela, you have declared yourself as a pastor, and back in the day, in some churches, some congregations,
Tell
that
the
was
truth.
unheard of.
Absolutely.
It was definitely unheard of. So there's a lot of questions that we're going to have for you today. But we first of all, we want you to tell us a little bit about yourself, where you come from, West Side, where you come from, and how your journey has been.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me, Zanitra, Toya, and Chris Brown. Chris and I grew up together, of course. I don't know if you remember this, but your mom worked at Jesse's. Y'all, his mom was one of the most beautiful women on the planet. His sister Donna, my brother Charles, went to school with her, and he was in love with her. Well, everybody was in love with Donna because Donna, they were just beautiful. And then come to find out, Chris and I are connected because of our children, because of family. But Chris has always been, and I'll get back to me, Chris has always been the kind of brother in our neighborhood who respected all of us. We didn't worry about anything. He was honorable. So I wanted to just let everybody know that today, the Love Connection, you're honored today. My name is Angela
Bless you.
Smith. I just happen to be one of the sisters from the west side of Chicago. My first job was Rexall Drugstore on Cicero and Congress. I relieved Puncho. Come on here.
Yeah.
Willie Cage, brother. And of course, grew up in the city of Chicago with both of my parents and went to, watch this, y'all, worked at the drugstore, but decided at the drugstore, I can't tell y'all what really happened, but I got pregnant by one of the young men. Oh yeah, I got pregnant by one of the young men in our neighborhood who was a Faulkner. I had my first baby at 19, and supposedly my mama stopped talking to me for about 2 weeks, and that hurt me. But I did look, and then told my mom, you got to take me over to the public aid office. Now, mind you, my mama was working for Delta Airlines. You got to take me over to the public aid office so I can get a medical card. Medical card for what? We don't go to the public aid office. She went with me, but she talked about me so bad until I started out at that drugstore. Then I went to work for Walgreens. And while at Walgreens, got a call and they said, come and interview for American Airlines. And the rest is history.
Yeah.
Then started off at American Airlines pregnant. Didn't know I was pregnant, but found out I was pregnant in the bellies of airplanes at a time when they were inviting women to come and be invited to aviation. Started out about 36 plus years ago, on my knees in the bellies of airplanes, become their bosses, then became their boss. And here today, I am administrative at American Airlines Workforce Management, and I hire and I fire, and God has been good. Yeah, God has been really, really good. And so I'm there, second generation airline. And I think I kind of could tell you about how to do this thing, but I also own my own little bitty business called One Sister to Another LLC Courier. And also I have One Sister to Another podcast where my start was right here in this room. And I am still considered a member of the family. That's something you said earlier, Chris, about I declare myself as pastor. Unfortunately for me, that don't ride too well. I'm not talking about the way you said it, because you said it the way you said it. And you're right. At the Baptist church, right? We were not acknowledged, but honey, I still preach. It didn't matter. See, if God really called you to do something, it doesn't matter very much if men, and I'm a man too, a man with a womb, acknowledges me, but I didn't get no sleep until I did it. And I got the proof that he called me. However, I'm the only one that gets to talk about that proof. Nobody else can. Just like if you're called to be a business owner, nobody knows that call but you. But I will tell you, I did not call myself. I got ordained as an evangelist now 32 years ago, got ordained as pastor, I want to say 17 years ago with my own husband. And there I am right now. I sit as pastor under Another Chance Family Worship Center, Apostle Terrence Hazard. Of course, the church is Another Chance Family Worship Center, right on Washington and Austin. And I am faithful to God.
Are you all affiliated with Chance Ministries as
No,
well?
but there's Another Chance. Yeah,
Okay.
we're the Another Chance that came from Faith World. Apostle Terrence Hazard and Pastor Sabrina Hazard. And I am privileged because my pastors and I are friends as well. And so, of course, I came from Greater Love, Greater Works, went through a divorce, and my ex-husband decided he didn't want to pastor anymore, but the Lord called me. And so it didn't matter to me what he didn't want to do. I didn't want to pastor a church because I didn't feel led to pastor church, even though he and I were ordained together.
Okay.
But my current church, Pastor Terrence says, hey, you don't take that away. You're still doing the work. And so here I am today. And the Lord blessed me to write the first book, Gone Girl. I'm not calling it volume 1 because it wasn't a volume 1, but Gone Girl. Of course, I don't know how to make sure. Gone Girl, 31-day mass of devotion. Wrote with 23 women, and 2 of our women passed away while writing. One of them wrote about the cancer and died from the cancer, but God was still faithful. And then God tells me, after we started that Gone Girl group during the pandemic, he says, you're going to write again. And I say, what, God? 15 women and myself wrote Gone Girl Volume 2. You don't know my story. And the premise of the book is I don't look like what I've grown through, because I'm not going through nothing. I decided, and you got to decide this, women. You got to decide that no matter what comes, no matter what may, no matter what they're saying. Y'all, recently I was out on TikTok. TikTok is not a place for real women. TikTok is almost like the modern day Maury Povich. But because I'm not afraid of anything, I showed up out there. And the TikTok talks about, this is what I'm talking about no matter what men say about us. No point intended, Brother Chris, because I know who you are and I know what you mean to us. No matter what they say, no matter what they do, stand 10 feet, your 10 toes down, and declare and decree who you are in him. I don't care what they say. I don't care if the brothers accept the fact that he called me, didn't call me. At the end of the day, call me Angela. You don't have to call me Pastor nothing. And I'm still going to show up on purpose and in my purpose.
That's very interesting. Because today they voted in a new pope, and he's from Chicago.
Yes,
I
Got
saw
Chicago
that.
ties,
Yeah.
United States, whatever the case might
Yes.
be. But there's a lot of ritual and traditional stuff within there. Catholicism is the birth of Christianity, and a lot of things that happen. And you got this social media now, and a lot of people are against Christian. A lot of people say they don't believe in Jesus. A lot of people say this and that. And out of the Catholicism, they said that it were men that voted for the things that were in the Bible that was omitted, and then that was included. A group of Catholic priests, just like what they're doing now, to vote him in. What kind of challenges do you have as it relates to social media with people doubting?
Ooh, how about what kind of challenges do we have just as people on a day to day? Watch this. The first house you're going to deal with ain't social media. It's going to be your house.
Your house.
So, and after you've lived for the Lord, my children saw me live for the Lord, y'all. My children didn't go through me calling them B's and H's like some some Christian households are. They say they Christians anyway. But I got to call them what I believe God would have me to call them. Now, did they make me mad? Sure. Did I whoop some tail? Yes, I did. But at the end of the day, social media is not ever first. But the household of faith sometimes is your own home. And so, but the Lord began to show me, y'all. He said, if you can handle what's in your house, you can handle social media. Social media ain't nothing but social media. It's folk meeting in a place where they can say some stuff on there that they can't say at their house. So that's how I
Exactly.
take it. I don't take it seriously at all. Have I ever went there with a person out there? I just told y'all I was out there on TikTok. I was there a couple of days. Come on here. And yes, I will. I will go. But here's the thing. You got to stand for something, or you'll fall for anything, right? And I believe that at times, at this time in our lives, social media with Christianity is this. Somebody said the other day, they said, because, ma'am, you're religious. I say, the devil is a lie. I'm not religious. I have a relationship with the Lord. And I always tell people this, you do what's going to work for you, because Angela going to do what works for her. And last I checked, who put the breakfast on the table? Jesus. Come on here. Who made sure I'm at American Airlines without a degree, and I'm in management as an administrator without a degree. I went to some college, but I didn't get a degree. You gonna tell me God didn't walk the aisles before I Black Lives Matter was going on, y'all, and I asked for the job I'm currently in, and they never would give it to me. They would give it to everybody else but me. But the Lord led me to the vice president at that time, Franco Tedeschi. And before he left to go to the Australian market, I said, Franco, why do I keep getting turned down and I got the goods? That man said, do you really want the job? I said, yes, I do. I'd already talked to the Lord about it. Jesus. Yes, I did. And then when I came in about a week later, after the interview, and everybody else did they 3-4, they called me on the phone. I said, y'all punk calling me. And I got the job. Chris, I'll tell people, do what you do. Can I look on the social media? Do what you do. I'll take Jesus. Me and my house, we're going to serve the Lord. So when you come over to my house, we pray before we eat. Yes, we do. You don't have to do any of what we do, but we pray before we eat at my house. I
Mhm.
always tell you get a choice. In the end, somebody gonna be wrong, and the Bible gonna be right. But go ahead.
Well, I mean, I can't, denounce or take away your beliefs because I say like this: social media is for entertainment purposes only.
Say that part again, so the
So
people in the back
the
can
true
hear.
character of a person is what they do when social media is not watching. You
Mm,
see what I'm saying?
mm,
So that's
that's
how I
good.
take social media. Religion. I've traveled all over this world, and everywhere I go, cathedrals, mosque, whatever the case might be, I try to find out their beliefs, their thought process,
That's good.
and it don't mean because the Jews don't believe there's a hell. Who said that they're wrong? I never died and came back to tell you if it was a heaven or a hell. I'm just saying, and every lot of Muslims don't believe Jesus is the Messiah. They think he's a messenger. So there's a lot of different things that people have beliefs in that other people might not believe, but who is to say that they're wrong?
But how about in other cultures as well? And this is a conversation, y'all, I've been having with my own son, Fire Blaze. Shout out to Fire Blaze in Atlanta, Georgia. My son could be a professor because when he talks to you, if you don't believe Jesus for real, he
Mhm.
will change your that dynamic, that narrative. But what he said was, "Ma, I do believe in Jesus. I just don't believe in the Jesus that they fed us all our life." I say, "Well, son, so when I'm talking to him, because I want him to stay in here, I always say, son, I need you to go ahead and thank Black Jesus. Come on here. Y'all do know that in every culture, there is a symbolic Jesus.
Mhm.
Huh? My issue has always been, Chris, and a lot of people don't know this about me, but my issue has always been, why can't my Jesus look like us?
Mhm.
But y'all Jesus can be blue-eyed with the okay. Anyway, okay, so
Whole nother
you anyway.
But I was gonna say your
Michelangelo.
son sound like Chris.
Michelangelo. Yeah, it's but see the thing about it is that there's enough information out here that people have to look at for themselves.
Yeah.
I can't look at it for you. I could study myself. I could listen to other people or whatever the case might be. I went to Barcelona and they had a picture of a black Mary holding a black Jesus
Mm.
in Barcelona. They got the same thing in Italy. So it's different parts of the country, different places that represents how they feel and what they believe in.
But Chris, how did you feel looking at that Black Mary holding her black baby Jesus?
Yeah, I
How
mean,
did it make you feel?
it was at that time, knowing what I know, I was like, okay, somebody's finally representing
Yeah.
because it's a thing that I pulled up on social media, and it was a white lady and a white man, and she asked him, says, "What's what's not in the Bible that you think is in the Bible?" And he said, "White people." A white
Are you
man.
serious?
I'm serious. And it was
That
like,
is
yeah,
amazing.
he said white people. He said, because if you look at it and the way it's structured around all Egyptians and
Mhm.
Israelites and all different kind of races, but there's no pure white
Mhm.
people
Yeah.
there. So I mean, I just take things interesting and whatever the case might be. Now, uh, you wear a lot of hats.
I do.
What makes you which ones do you enjoy or what brings you joy out of all the things you're doing? Your management at American Airlines, you doing the writing books, you speaking to the communities or whatever the case. Where you get your pleasure from?
You know what? I really believe that nothing's changed very much. I grew up in the Baptist church, and I was sent to the Pakula building downtown Chicago. Mary Rance taught me voice. Y'all, I get down there. So I love to sing. So I call myself a singing preacher, is what
There
they
go
call
another
me.
hat.
Yeah, singing preacher. And so, but I love parenting. I love grandmothering, but I love being the mom of Chase, who's 40, who is a creative for LeBron James, Spring Hill, and also Nike and Adidas. I'm the mom
Okay.
of a 36-year-old, or he'll be 36, Christopher Fire Blaze
Good
on
name.
YouTube.
Good,
Yeah,
great name.
yeah,
Did
yeah.
y'all hear me?
He has been in everybody's movie. He's been in Shaquille O'Neal's Uncle Drew. He's the young man who's coming up behind the comedian, MacGyver and Star, all that. And then I've got Robinique. She go. Don't nobody want to keep their name. Robinique is She Go Turbo. She is her and Devin are my kids who Chasten has encouraged and hooked them up. They ghost write for major record companies. They've never made millions, but they made a few thousand.
Yeah.
And so I love being their mom, but I love being authentically me. And I show up as her. And I always have. I've always spoken in front of people. My mom would write my speeches out for the banquets, for the pastor's banquet. And they said, if anybody would do it, any young person would do it, Angela will. Again, I went downtown to the Cooler Building to learn how to sing, supposedly. Y'all, I told that lady, I said, you don't know my struggle. I can't sing Amazing Grace. Like, ooh, me. No, I told her I need to put some oomph in there and tell you how it really go down and say, amazing grace. That's what I'm talking
Let's
about.
go to church,
Anyway.
y'all. Let's go to church. Yeah, and that's good. But like, you know, I think you're amazing to stand on what you're standing on in a forum that is mostly dominated by men.
It really is.
What are some of the struggles that you have as being a female pastor?
Wow. Do you know, to this day, I still have I don't know if y'all know, but my church I grew up at Greater Bethlehem Missionary Baptist Church over on Western and Warren. They tore our church down because the builders bought it, just like a bunch of more churches in the community. When they tore the church down, they told our pastor he can build it up. Did y'all not know that Pastor Garvin there, who sent me to music school and all this good stuff, thought I was a young person who was up and coming. He found out that I was preaching and told the musician she can come back and sing, but she cannot come back and preach. And it crushed me a little bit. So much so until I purposely worked on Sundays. Now, I was the choir director, but I worked on Sundays so I wouldn't have to go. And I will never forget going to church one Sunday. I was taught in Sunday school to teach all of this. Young person up and coming, y'all. I go to church one Sunday and Miss Lamar, I never will forget her. She passed away. She said, the Lord showed me in a dream that you were painting the church white. I said, ma'am, but what does that mean? I don't even like coming to church no more. I'm the choir director. She said, you were preaching. And I just grabbed that and ran with it. Never said anything else about it. And then wouldn't you believe that next I go to John Abercrombie. Remember the school store?
On Fifth Ave? On
Laverne.
Across the street from May School.
Yes. I'm at a funeral. I was at one of the Faulkner boys' funeral. I don't know if you remember, the oldest boy died. Yeah. And I'm at the funeral, and here comes the funeral director, who's a prophet, and said, why are you running? I said, excuse me, sir, running? What am I running? I'm trying to catch my son from running in the street, chased it. He said, you're running because men have marked you, but you will never run again. Just the way he talked to me, y'all, it felt like God had stepped out of glory and was talking to me. You'll never run again. You're going to stand up, no matter if they believe, they don't believe, stand up. And from that day, 32 years ago, God ordained me in them streets to be his vessel of honor. And I've tried.
A vessel fit for the master's use.
Come on here. See, he know about it. You playing with him, Chris.
Nah, I back up. I back up because I'm a believer in faith.
Yes.
I'm a believer in spirits. The church. Now, I'm going to tell you this. Rock of Ages, Pastor Marvin Wiley,
yes, sir,
equipped us. We had seminars, we went to conferences, we had what they call them stay-ins and all of that.
His best friends was Jerry Black out of Decatur, Georgia.
Yeah, and he equipped us to defend our faith.
Absolutely.
And as I got older and as I continued to read some of the things, it didn't add up biblically, because and I'll give you a little example. When the book says Adam and Eve created the world, everything came from them, then I question the fact that where did those women come from that their sons married? So you got questions or whatever the case might be. So people, but whatever you believe, just stand strong in it.
Yeah.
Defend your faith. I mean, and if sometimes defending your faith is being quiet. Because sometimes you can say something and somebody be waiting for you to say that, then they attack you. And then when they attack you, you got to be able to get up out of that. So I just be quiet and I listen and whatever the case.
Because the truth is not debatable, is it?
That's it.
I got gray hair.
What I believe in.
I'm just saying, I have gray hair, right?
Yeah.
This how. Right?
Well, yeah. But hey, listen, you've had some experience coming off the West Side, pregnant at an early age,
19.
or whatever the case might be. Tell us what brought you to write your books. What brought you to write your books?
I guess for me, I wanted people to hear my story. And of course, in the first book, it's so weird, y'all. In the first book, my ex-husband left. He left, right? I had already wrote, though. So I wasn't going back to rewrite the book, right? But in the next book, I asked God, I said, what can I share? He said, you can share what you want to share as long as you're honorable in your sharing. And so wouldn't you believe all the stories in this book lead? Okay, so in the first book, I wrote the first chapter, and it's say you can, say you can't, either way you write. But in the second book, God says you're going to write last. And I said, why? He just gave me this revelation the other day. He said, every story leads to the final chapter. I'm alive. I survived. And so, of course, it was important for me, not only me, but for the women who wrote with me. Some wrote with me 2 times. I had some aviation sisters, about 3 of them that wrote with me twice. It was important for me that the women told their own stories, because I couldn't tell them, but I could tell my own story. I could share with the woman about how you can walk through divorce with grace. No matter what someone else says about you, my grace may not look like your grace, but it's still grace, right? Because at the end of the day, I'm not going off on anybody. You can't tell me, sisters, I'm not walking this walk with grace, because I'm telling the truth. I get grace, and everybody doesn't get an opportunity to do that. But do y'all know there's still some people who are talking to me, inboxing me, I didn't even know you were divorced. I say, now that, to me, that speaks volumes about who I am as a woman to have gone through that. Let me say this, and then I'm going to hand this mic back to you. And that is, I believe that the enemy wants to shut us down. And so if you shut me down, I'm a creative. But I had creatives, and I'm a creative. So things are always going on in my mind. I have to calm myself down. But if I cannot tell my truth, Chris, you're going to have problems out of me. And so I decided I would rather y'all go crazy than me. I'm not going crazy anymore. I'm going to tell my truth. I'm going to tell it with class, with vigor. And if you can't take it, then I'm good with you deleting yourself, right? At the end of the day, I have to tell my own truth. And so, of course, you don't know my story. Gone Girl Volume 2, you don't know my story. Again, the premise of the book is I don't look like what I've grown through. And so it was important for me to give other women a voice, and for me to also give myself one.
Well, I salute you and bless you. You working hard. You doing what you got to do. It's you know what? Life is like a vapor. You're here and then you're gone. I respect the fact that you accepted the challenge, because if you don't accept the challenge, the birth of you don't know my story wouldn't be. So you come from a tough spot, and this, I want to say this. My mama worked at Rexall too. I did too. With Jerry and Larry and all of them people, and Mr. Crumble, Richard Crumble. They had one on Madison and Costner too. They had a Crumble. His brother did. Richard was on Congress. His brother Charles was on Madison. And,
did you get I got my pharmacy tech license from there.
No,
and decided
it wasn't that. I was a stock boy.
Yeah,
I was a stock boy. I was in high school working at that place. I got my mama the job, and they had a liquor store over there, and they had to
Yes, they did
all of that. They had all of that. But anyway, for you to mention that, Those were two of the brothers from Chicago. I mean, the black owners that we knew
Mm-hmm.
that owned their own business, owned their own stores, and they would give back to the community.
Absolutely.
And then right on that corner was a doctor's office. We had all of that right there in our neighborhood.
What about John Abercrombie with the 5 Baskin Robbins? All of us work for him.
And then he built the church on Laramie and Madison.
Apostle
So
John
if
T.
you ever been over there,
Yeah,
that big
that's
old
where I'm
light
from.
show. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's right. You did
Yeah.
go to Resurrection. So, but at the end of the day, to see a lot of people being successful from the west side of Chicago,
Absolutely.
I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you another thing too. What made me love Maywood is Maywood represented Maywood. Maywood was proud.
Yeah.
Maywood is a proud community, and they love what was going on in the community, and that's how we were on the west side of Chicago.
Absolutely.
And then we birthed Angela Johnson.
Yes.
We
Yeah,
birthed her
yeah.
from Chicago, so we really, really appreciate you. Thank you for the Cajun boil.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, it's here. It's here. We finna we gonna get out.
And I
Thank
wrote,
you for
Chris,
the
I want y'all to
books.
know that I wrote, I was led by the Lord to write something in
Oh, I
each
know. I was
one
just about to
of your
look at that.
books. Yeah, each one of your books I wrote in.
Okay, well,
Yeah, I
they'll
did.
steal my book. She like
Yep.
to steal
Hey,
that
come
one
on
right
now.
there. She'll take my book and then it's sold it. Y'all want to buy this Chris Brown book? Give me $20. That's my lady Z.
I
She's
love
something
it.
else.
And I
But
love my message too.
yeah, we really, really appreciate you for coming out, blessing our show. And as we get ready to end this show, where we always tell everybody is treat people the way you want to be treated and never give up.
Mm.
Because if you would have gave up, you wouldn't be in management at American Airlines. You wouldn't be writing books. You wouldn't be preaching to kids. You wouldn't be doing that if you would have gave up based on what other people think. So we appreciate you. We love you. God bless you. Thank you. Wanda B, our engineer. She do a great job for us. She playing the Love Movement theme song.
Can I tell them where to get the book, Chris, real
Yes,
quick?
I was gonna
So you
say
can get the book, of course, go to my Facebook page, Angela L. Johnson. Yes, I'm Angela L. Smith right now, but Angela L. Johnson, go to my Facebook page. If you inbox me, you can get the book, or you can, of course, go ahead and email me at onesister2another@gmail.com. Again, that's ONESISTER, the number 2, ANOTHER@gmail.com.
Hey, y'all here
Yes.
now. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Love it.
Appreciate you. Love Movement.
Yes, yes, yes. Oh, I'm gonna keep this out so we can take out this out.
Best friends. All to we follow, she won't do. Female version of myself couldn't be